Okay, so class, we're going to take a look at this article. Today's article here is entitled Negro, Prieto, Moreno, a question of identity for black Mexicans. All right. So, the idea for this activity is that we're going to read it. It's in English, so we should have no problem reading it. Would a student like to read? All right, let's begin. Jose Maria Morelos, Mexico. Hernan Reyes calls himself negro, black, plain and simple. After some thought, Elda Mayrin decides she is Afro-Mexicana or African-Mexican. Candido Escuen, a 58-year-old papaya farmer, is not quite sure what word to use, but he knows he's not mestizo, or mixed white and native Indian, or mixed white and native Indian, which is how most Mexicans describe themselves. Prieto, or dark, is what a lot of people call me, he said. This isolated village is named for an independence hero thought to have had black ancestors who helped abolish slavery in Mexico. It lies in the rugged hills of southwestern Mexico, among a smattering of towns and hamlets that have long embraced a heritage from African slaves who were brought here to work in mines and on sugar plantations in the 16th century. All right, we're going to finish up with this last part here. It says, just how many people are willing to share that pride? Okay, just a moment. Just how many people are willing to share that pride may soon be put to the test as Mexico moves to do something it has not attempted in decades and never on its modern census. Ask people if they consider themselves black. All right, so there we go. We've got the first portion of the article. We've read it in English. We know what they're talking about. All right. Now, do we know Spanish? Okay, that's sort of the test. My answer to that question, do you know Spanish? My answer is, why, yes, you know Spanish. All right, because Spanish and English share cognates. They share los cognados, words that are similar in English as in Spanish. So let's go back and look at what we just read, and let's find the cognates, okay? Or los cognados. So, here we go. Here's the article once again, all right? I've circled the cognates, los cognados. I initially circled black, but that's not actually a cognado, but that's a word that we're all familiar with. It's Black History Month. We're all familiar with being black, right? Or blackness, but that's not a cognate, so I had to X that one out, okay? Next, here we have the word simple. Let's read the sentence again. Hernan Reyes calls himself negro, black, plain, and simple. How do we say simple? Okay, en español. ¿Cómo se dice simple en español? Anyone? Simple. It's spelled and looks the same. Simple. The pronunciation is different, okay? But it's the same word. Simple. We're done, all right? That's one word that you can add to your list of los cognados. Simple. Let's continue. Let's read it again. After some thought, Elda Mayrin decides she is Afro-Mexicana or African-Mexican, all right? If you know these words, I've underlined the words that I know in Spanish, but these words are not cognates, los cognados, because they don't look the same as they do in English. However, is does look the same. Here you have is es in español. Decides, the verb to decide is decidir. decidir. All right. What type of verb is decidir? It's an IR verb. So you can conjugate it, okay? You can conjugate it. Now, if you conjugate the IR verb in present tense, all right, we're going to have to look at the board for the present tense conjugation of IR verbs. Present tense conjugation of IR verbs. All right? The present tense conjugation of IR verbs is OSE, imos, is, in. Okay? Or eis for the vosotros form. OSE. Okay? Interestingly enough, if you're talking to someone directly and they are the second person singular, you would say decides, meaning you, okay? You decided. And in Spanish, it's spelled exactly as we would spell decides, but this decides is not second person. This is third person singular. So it's tricky, but all I want you to focus on is the fact that the verb decidir is just like the verb decide in English because they're cognates. All right? So what we're doing here is we are growing our vocabulary. And so when you read English, you should be able to identify the Spanish words that you know. Same thing, when you're reading Spanish, you should be able to identify the English words that you know. And so my point is this, class. English and Spanish are very similar. Very similar. So it's an easier task. It's a far easier task to learn Spanish than it is to learn, for instance, German, Arabic, Korean, Mandarin, or Japanese, or any of the Indian languages as well. All right? So what I'm asking you to do is to read the article completely and make a list. Make a list of the cognates. This is a list of the cognates I've written down here. All right. So there are quite a few that I've written. And these are the cognates, los cognados I found after 3 pages. Okay? About 3 pages. And there's more to read. So let's see. You should at least have a page of 100. Let's say at least 109 cognados. That's our goal. That's the assignment. All right? 109 cognados. Create a list of 109 cognados taken from this article right there. Oh, and by the way, what you do is you write the English and then you write the Spanish. All right? English, Spanish, and you go all the way down. Now also, if you don't know the Spanish equivalent of that word, you can always go to SpanishDict.com. It's a dictionary, y'all. SpanishDictionary.com. It's a dictionary. That's where you go to find translations. Okay? All right, we're done here. Let's get out. Peace and blessings. IC 10-9. Oh, wait a minute. This is an article from the New York Times. The article was created October 25th, 2014. The article title, Negro, Prieto, Moreno, A Question of Identity for Black Mexicans by Randall C. Archibald. All right, that's where you can find it. Find the copy online, but my students, you have printed copies at your desk. All right, once again, peace and blessings from IC 10-9. We're out.